Morning or good afternoon, wherever you're watching. I am Mutesi, the host for Coffee with Mutesi, and today I have the privilege of welcoming a friend that flew in from Lagos to Kigali. Kigali, the heart of Africa.
Yeah.
Welcome to Kigali.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure to see people flying into Kigali.
Yeah.
What is your impression, by the way, about Kigali and Rwanda in general?
Well, basically, it's good to be here. Thank you for having me on the show. I've been here for like 4 times, and so it really shows a lot about my constant love and why I really want to keep coming here. And not just me, how I also want a lot of people to come here, because for me, coming to Rwanda is beyond the environment. It's really more about mind-shifting experience, the school, the education, learning from the history and finding a way you can apply it to yourself and becoming better. That's really what it is about me, and I'll keep coming here.
Wow, oh, thank you so much. So people who are planning to fly to Kigali, you are welcome. The country of 1,000 hills and 1,000 smiles. Don't miss out. Please come. COVID cannot stop us. He doesn't have the power to stop us. Please plan your next visit to Kigali. So who is here today? I want to talk about the person that is here. Since he has already his biography here, it makes it easy for me to do it. So his name is Raymond Okapani. He is a social entrepreneur, personal brand strategist, international speaker, and author. He's passionate about strategic leadership and youth development, and believes there's so much capacity latent in every average young person in the street. Oh, wow. He has 10 years experience across the private, non-governmental, and public sector. He has been creating platforms and designing programs that connect and equip individuals, corporate organizations, and NGOs with strategic skill set and opportunities that help them make more impact and generate resources that sustain the initiatives. Raymond is also the founder for Youth Spark Pan-Africa, and not a non-profit committed to the promotion of leadership and socio-economic development of young people across Africa, and currently has a community of change makers, professionals, and thought leaders. Wow. Reading through your biography makes me thinking, how old are you?
I think I'm slightly above 3 decades. Yeah, so I'll be 32 by September 15th. Yeah.
You have done so much in your 30s.
Yeah.
Let me call it that. And it seems like you're dynamic, you're active. The first time I met you was when you had come here to organize a conference, and that is actually the reason you're here.
Yeah.
How do you do much? Let me start from there. How do you do much from at a young age? How did you?
I get a lot of people ask me this same question. Raymond, how are you able to achieve so much? How are you able to do this? Like getting to wear a lot of caps, and then also able to really record the kind of results that we've been able to record. I mean, as you can see, I've been able to work in different spaces.
Yes.
I've worked in the public sector. I was 22 years old when I became the advisor, special assistant to the head of civil service in my place back in Nigeria.
Wow.
And within the period, I had started volunteering for a non-governmental organization back when I was I think it was back in 2009. So it made that I was volunteering, and I was also working with the Local Government Service Commission, which was really in charge of over 4,000 civil servants across 13 local government areas and 64 development centers. So I got to work directly with the permanent secretary, so which really exposed me to a lot of things that was happening at the grassroots, because working with the permanent secretary, who was overseeing issues that concern like civil servants from 64 development centers and 13 local government areas, means that there were issues around health, education, agriculture, public research and statistics, different areas of needs that were arising from the grassroots, and they were all coming to the table of the permanent secretary. And so I had the opportunity to also know the decisions that were being taken from between the permanent secretary and the chairman as a young person. So it kind of really exposed me to how these people were handling specific issues, that concern specific people. That was what happened while I was in the public sector, before I got an opportunity to work as the SA to the head of service, which I did for 4 years. But within the period I was still volunteering with an NGO. So you can now see, being in the public sector where you are on the side of the government, and you're also volunteering at the non-governmental sector where you are working with people that are not in the government space. So you're able to create a balance. Back then I saw that there was this lacuna, there was this gap between what the government was supposed to do and the people who are supposed to access these needs, and they were not able to do it. And here you are in the middle, you can see what's happening in the government side, you can see resources that were coming in, and you are seeing people that were also suffering in the community who couldn't access those problems, those resources. And that was actually what led, in 2015, I decided to really leave the government space, because I had acquired a lot of experience. I was desiring more. I saw a lot of young people who looked up to me to say, Raymond, we're inspired by what you're doing. But at the same time, I look back at them and I'm like, you shouldn't be inspired. I desire what you have. And what is that? I had wanted to study medicine, but I didn't have an opportunity to go to school. So some of them have people that can support them, send them to school, pay their school fees, give them pocket money and all that. I didn't have that. I'm just a first son in a family of 7, right? So I decided to say, guys, whatever thing you think I have done, I think we can do this together, because you have more opportunity to really do a lot for yourself. And so I decided to leave the government space, because I was also being boxed. You know that moment where you want to do more, but you are restricted by, this is the way we have been doing it, this is this, and I don't like that. So I don't like bureaucracy, so I had to leave. And then I started up my organization, which has really helped me to impact on the life of people. So back to the question you asked, how am I able to do much? It is just by knowing that I am coming from a background, a place where I had no reasons. I had so many reasons to give. I had so many excuses to give. I could have given excuses why I should be into robbery, into cultism, into all kinds of things. But knowing that I didn't do all those things, but there is an option to the same energy I need to fail, the same energy I need to get into all those social vices, it's the same energy I need to get into the other space, develop myself and become better. And so my inspiration, my major motivation is seeing other young people who can really tap into the opportunities they have, which I didn't have, the resources they have, their family members that can support them, the knowledge that is right now going everywhere, tap into it and really become the best of themselves. Every day I think about it, and I also know that there are so many people's successes so many people whose successes are tied to my own success. So it means that if there are 1,000 persons who are supposed to succeed because they see me, they are inspired with what I'm doing, if I eventually decide to fail, it means that I didn't just fail for myself. I have failed for 1,000 persons who are supposed to be inspired, who are supposed to be challenged, who are supposed to be up their feet to really do whatever thing they have to do to become successful. So that's really my motivation.
Wow, I wish I can go on from there, but today we are on Coffee with Mutesi, and we are going to be talking about his book. His book. Yeah. One of the achievements that has been able to register is that he's now a published author. Yeah. There's being an author, but there's being a published author. And as a publisher, sometimes I feel, the importance of, being called a published author. Because before you get published, it's another school. Yeah. It's another degree. Yeah, so today we will be talking about his book. He has written a book called Passion to Profit, Mastery. And he calls it the ultimate guide to going from an ordinary individual to a profitable brand. Raymond, you've been traveling the African, continent, and definitely you've been to Rwanda, and I know you say it's not the last time. What is this all about? What is this book all about? For the people that are listening to us now, what is it all about?
Okay, so what actually inspired this book, you must have heard me when I was introducing some of the things I have done. I spoke a lot about, my background from the NGO space, right?
Yes.
So I started working in the non-governmental organization, and where I had I grew this mindset that, it was really about passion. I had this passion to really give, because volunteering in that space, I was also really privileged to have worked on different projects, orphans and vulnerable children, widows project, out of school youth projects, community TBK, HIV and AIDS, throwback malaria. So I did a lot of projects, and I started developing this passion for fellow human beings. How can I really help them? How can I help them to solve some of the problems? And I got so engrossed that I never thought about myself.
Oh.
So I was so passionate that I also never thought about how do I sustain these things that I'm passionate about. So if you're passionate about reaching out to, say, less privileged children, you know that what you can give to them, you need to buy them food, or you need to get them things. You need some resources to be able to do that.
Yes.
So, but I was just, straightforward, very passionate about these are the things I want to do, but I never thought about how do I do it. And so there was this aspect when I was, in the NGO space, where a lot of people always thought about getting aid, getting grants, getting aid.
Yes.
You apply for aid, you get some, some international donors give you money to execute and all that. And with time, that opportunity, that privilege started dwindling. I saw it dwindle because before you can just go and apply, and people give you resources to do what. But at some point, it started declining because there were now coalitions who international donors can just reach out to say, we have so and so amount of money, we need you to execute this. Sometimes, again, it also drained, so it was no longer about the coalition or the group or the network, it was also about individual organizations. Because there were a lot of people who were also not utilizing the resources. So the donors will now look at a particular organization to say, we have XYZ amount of money, we'd like you to send us a proposal for this and that. But why am I saying this? So it started affecting a lot of people who constantly were waiting for these aids to come. So they were frustrated because there were things they were passionate about executing, but they can't do that because they didn't have resources. Take, for instance, I was very passionate, I am still very passionate about youth development, but I wanted to really help a lot of young people. I wanted to reach out to them, but I didn't have money. So I had to depend on people to be able to give me money. Sometimes I have to borrow, sometimes I had to beg people, sometimes I had to, and when these things happen, I'll use it, execute the project, and I get back home and I'm broke. Now I am broke. Everybody is thinking that this guy is very impactful, he has done heavily well,
but you're broke.
But I'm frustrated inside. I'm thinking about how do I pay the loan, how do I pay the debt. The next day people are calling you.
Put food on the table?
Exactly. So the next day people are calling you to say, you've done this, we've seen your pictures, we've seen this and that and that. So you have to come and pay me my money, as if pictures translates to money. So it was very frustrating. And another thing that also happened, very, very critical, is that being in that space, I also never engaged in anything that had to do with money. Anything that had to do with sales. So when you talk about sales, when you talk about money, I never engaged in those conversations, right? I never engaged in those conversations because I felt that anything that has to do with the exchange of money was already extorting people because, I found myself in a community where people didn't even have money. So for you to say, bring money or do anything, my mind recorded that you were trying to extort someone. So I didn't see sale as a point of giving value. Which was also one of the reasons why I captured it in my book, in one of the chapters I wrote about sales.
Actually, that's one of the chapters that I wanted to ask you. Like you say that you are a seller, sell with passion. But I like the quote that you put behind, make your passion your paycheck.
Yeah.
How did you make your passion your paycheck?
So,
for the people that are listening to us.
One of the things that to do if you want to make your passion your paycheck is that you must learn how to convert your passion into a need that other people are willing to pay for. You see, it doesn't matter how passionate you are about a particular thing. If it is not a need for people, you will die with that frustration. You will die with that passion.
Yeah, thank you. Raymond, actually, one of the chapters that you have in your book is that you are a seller, sell with passion. And you closed with a certain quote that I liked. Make your passion your paycheck. How do you make your passion to be a paycheck?
Yeah, so a lot of people don't really think that it's possible to make their passion a paycheck, but I actually had to deduce a principle where I said that if you really want people to pay for your passion, you have to make it a need that other people are willing to pay for. People must be willing to pay for whatever thing you're passionate about. For instance, if you're passionate about, say, fashion, for instance, you're passionate about fashion, no matter how passionate you are about it, if you are not flowing with the current trends, then you're going to be passionate about dealing with something that is obsolete, right? So it's really difficult to convert passion to profits, trust me. Because most times, a lot of people venture into stuff that are just profitable. So many people that are in business are not in it because they're passionate about it. They are in it because it is profitable. So it's really, really challenging to convert passion to profit, because these are things you do with ease. This is something you can just do with ease. If you're passionate about writing, while another person is struggling to write a chapter, in 1 hour you have actually covered like 5 pages. Do you understand? So, but for you to be able to, so it's easier for you to now do it for people and just close your eyes and walk away. So while people are saying, wow, you did all this, you don't even know what you did, because it doesn't cost you anything to do them. You can wake up in the middle of the night to do that. But how do you align what you are passionate about to the needs of people in a particular geographical area, such that even while you are sleeping, they can actually run to you to say, please, we need this. Because if your passion is not a need that people are willing to pay for, then there is no way you're going to make it your paycheck. It will still continue to be something that you live with being frustrated about.
Yes, I know that most young people are listening to us. And it's very interesting that at youth age, when someone is at the youth stage of life, that is when there's a lot of passion. People are burning with passion. And most of the times, the emotions mix up with passion, and sometimes you can't even differentiate between passion and something that is just in you, or, there's something that is boiling. How would you help young people? What would you tell them that would help them to know that I am really, really passionate about this?
Yeah, so to answer this, you talked about mixing emotion with passion, and most times some of these things springs from peer pressure. There are a lot of people that they really get interested in stuff, not really because they are passionate about it, not really because it is part of them, but because they just see that most of their peers are getting into it. That's what is trending on social media. That's what a lot of people are getting into, and they are not able to, first of all, evaluate these areas in line with their strengths, to check if there's something they call SWOT analysis. So you want to look at what are the strengths in this, what are your weaknesses, are there opportunities in this, what are the threats if you get into this. Because the truth is that because something is working for other people is not a proof that it will work for you. But in most cases there are exceptions, because if you do what other people did to succeed, given the same condition, you're going to get the same result. But are you going to be fulfilled? Because that's what actually makes passion different. If you're passionate about something, then you're going to be fulfilled right from the very, very first step you're taking. But if you're not passionate about it, you just keep craving for more, and there is no fulfillment. So first thing that young people need to find out is, first of all, to find out, why am I here?
Yes.
Because you need to know who you are first. If you don't know who you are, then you keep struggling in the shadow of other people. So if you're able to find out, why am I here, first of all, there are very two critical questions you want to ask, that young people need to ask themselves. One of them is that, why am I here? Why am I here brings you to a point where you are just here by yourself. Nobody's going to influence the answer to that. It's only you that is going to answer that. The second question you're going to ask yourself is, what do you really want? Because when you say what do you really want, now you say what do you want? What do you want is big. What do you want is not specific.
Yes.
But when you ask yourself, what do you really want? Then it brings you to where you are actually getting into the very specifics, the very numbers, the very color, the very shape, the very size of whatever thing it is that you want. And I read in a book that said that success actually means different things to different people.
Wow.
So if you are able to ask yourself what you really want, then you will now start telling yourself the exact thing, start painting the picture of what success will mean to you. Because what success means to you is going to be completely different from what it means to your friend who you are actually looking at. So a lot of people, they want to have good health. Once there is good health, they have succeeded. They don't want any other. They don't want a lot of money. To another person, you have to have fantastic academic qualification. You want to be a professor. That is what will happen in your life and you're successful. Another person, you just want to have a lot of money to be able to help people, do a lot of charity. That's what it is. But young people need to ask themselves, what do I really want? If you're able to ask yourself, what do you really want? And cross-match it with, why are you here? Because sometimes what you want might also be opposing to you achieving your purpose.
Yes.
Do you understand? Because what you want can also be really influenced by your environment, by your upbringing, by a lot of things happening around, changing society and all those things. So you ask yourself, why am I here? What is my purpose for being here? It helps to guide you. So you start taking certain actions and your subconscious is calling you back to order to say, no, this is not why I'm here. I'm not supposed to be here. I'm not supposed to do this. I'm not supposed to deal with this kind of people. I'm not supposed to do this and that and that. I'm not supposed to read this kind of book because it does not align with the reason why I'm here. And then what do you really want now means about you going, why am I here means from where you're coming from. What do you really want means from here to where you're going. So it also guides you to know this is the things I want to do, these are the areas I want to focus my life and all that. If you're not able to match these two questions, you're really going to have a lot of problems. But we need to ask ourselves this question. It takes a lot to also answer this question. It takes a lot of discipline. It takes sacrifice because you must also be willing to leave a lot of things out. If it requires that you have to stay away from a certain group of people, it's a sacrifice you should be willing to make. If it requires that you have to stop going to certain places, it's also another type of sacrifice you have to make. So for you to really ask yourself these questions and get the right answers to them, then you also have to place yourself where you're saying, whatever thing it takes, whatever sacrifice, I'm willing to go all the way out. I'm willing to sacrifice my time, my energy, my resources, and do anything it requires to achieve success. That's just what it means.
We are still on Coffee with Mutesi, and today we are talking the book, Passion to Profit. Now, I don't know where you're watching from. Africa, Europe, Asia, America, Australia, and all over the world, but most importantly, Lagos. Because, Kigali, Kenya, Ghana, Tanzania, Uganda,
Liberia,
South Sudan. If you're watching from anywhere in the world and you haven't got a copy, please call him. Call him and let him know how he can share his book. Now, on your page 38, I got my book yesterday, so I haven't really read it, but I captured a few things. When you turn on page 38, the last part of the page, it says Passion to Profit course. You will never be successful simply because you have something you are passionate about. You will never get people to buy into your business just because you're passionate about it. Nobody will be interested in going the same journey with you simply because you love it and it gives you satisfaction. I want to come back. I'm an entrepreneur myself. And I've been working the journey that time. Most people think that being an entrepreneur, going into entrepreneurship, is equal to running away from your evil boss, running away from the work that makes you spend sleepless nights. So you find someone saying, this boss is really harassing me, I am going to start working for myself. And I think most people think that when you go to work for yourself, it is equal to working whenever you want and however you want, and go to work whenever you want. So tell me, you've been an entrepreneur and you are into a social aspect of life, supporting people, but also with this book, you are into selling. And you said, until you can sell your passion, then you will still be surviving. So what are you telling the young people that are listening to us now who think that I am going to go to work for myself, this kind of the whole thing,
So this is So one of the things people need to know about entrepreneurship is that, you see, entrepreneurship is a full-time job, right? Yes. Entrepreneurship is not something that you do anytime you like, right? It's not something you now say, the reason why you want to be an entrepreneur is because you want to have more time for yourself. Actually, the reason why you should be an employer or employee is so that you can have more time for yourself. Because as an employee, you are able to have the Saturdays off, the Sundays off. You can take out some time with your family and, you know, go out and all that. You get promoted and all those stuff. But you know, let me also address this mindset. You know, being an employee is not a bad thing. It simply means that you are trying to help someone to achieve a goal. Yes. It's not slavery. It means that you're trying to help somebody to achieve a goal, right? And any day you now decide that you also have a particular vision that you want to actually pursue or you want to achieve with line with your own personal life purpose, then you should also be willing to have other people, because you can't do it alone. So you're also going to have to face that situation where you are not going to be sleeping, you are always thinking, you have to get people to work with, you have to deal with the dynamics of human behaviors and all those stuff, you know, the inconsistency, trying to train other people and all those things. You're going to have those problems. So it doesn't mean that you want to get into entrepreneurship, you want to work for yourself. Actually, as an entrepreneur, you're not also working for yourself, you're working for people. Because the reason for entrepreneurship is to solve problems. You need to provide solutions. You need to constantly stay innovative. What is the new problem? What are the emerging problems? What are the emerging problems that are coming up? What are the emerging solutions? How can I get more innovative around solving these problems? And these things happen 24 hours 7. You are always thinking, because information is getting obsolete by the day. So you have an information right now about your business, you need to stay updated, because by the time you come back tomorrow to talk about the same business strategies and they're telling you you are already 500 years behind, because the information you just brought out right now has long been changed. So for young people that want to get transition from employee space to the entrepreneurship space, you need to prepare your mind for it, to know this is not about running away from a bad boss. This is not about running away from an environment that is not working. It's okay if you want to leave a space because it is not in line with the future that you have for yourself. But you shouldn't live with the mindset that you are living from an evil place, because even within the period you were there were experiences you learned, there were relationships you built, there were, you know, kind of skills that you have learned while you were there, which are also going to help in the new phase of your life. Entrepreneurship, we need to know, and back to what you talk when we're talking about passion to, you know, profit code. People are not even going to follow you because you made up your mind to become an entrepreneur. So don't just wake up any day and now feel like, once you just put out your name there, I am the CEO of XYZ business, and put it out there on the internet. Because of that,
you have a business card.
and a lot of people start following you, right? And that was actually why I was talking about the passion to profit code. They're not going to follow you because you are passionate about a new area, but because you want to take on a journey to build your business, to build a brand. They're actually going to follow you because whatever thing you're doing is addressing a problem, and the problem that is specific to them. Because nobody wants to be another person's breakthrough. Nobody wants to be another person's breakthrough. That's why when you see even wealthy people, no matter how wealthy they are, they still price you low. No matter how wealthy a man is, and then they're trying to do business with you, they're still pricing you low, because they don't want to see, they don't want the story to be that it is with their money that you became a billionaire. Do you understand? So when you are actually getting into this space, people are not going to follow you because, you know, you are now an entrepreneur. No, they're going to follow you because you are solving a problem. And if you don't have a need, a problem you want, a solution that you are bringing to an already existing problem that people have, there's no point leaving your place. It's better you even stay there. I always tell people, stay in, get a paid job, stay somewhere and learn under someone. Learn about structures, learn about how organizations are built, learn about leadership strategies, how our teams build. You have to learn those things for you to be able to make any move. If you don't have those necessary skills, then you're going to fail immediately you start. Because statistically, it's been said that over more than 60% of businesses fail within the first 5 years.
Yes.
So you want to ask yourself, why do these businesses fail within the first 5 years? It means that there are knowledge, there are skills, there are things that they have not fully acquired or they have also not applied that should be able to sustain them beyond those 5 years. And these are what a lot of people don't have.
Oh my God. Wow, you are still tuned in on Coffee with Mutesi. Wherever you are in the world, you can get the book. You don't, by the way, you don't need to just get the hard copy. The book is on Amazon. And I'm going to read a few testimonials, or call them, what people. You might be thinking this is a hunk. This is a book that is going to help you. I am very passionate about books. So that's why when I'm having a topic on a book, I feel like crying. But these people say, Tracy said, I have read through this delightful book, and I think it is well written and organized. Thank you for putting it out. Then another person called Diana Castro said, very useful and inspiring, thanks. Then Neko said, very informative, takes you step by step as advertised. This is a great book to get you into action. That is a lead. While I personally found the abundance of pink, slightly off-putting, don't let it put you off. The content is great. All the steps have been broken down well. So it's easy. Follow with example along the way, which are helpful to see how to apply to your own personal situation. So please don't start a business because you're running away from your boss. No.
The wrong mindset.
And don't start a business because your friend just started work.
You're going to fail.
People are going to buy your product. They're not going to buy why you started. Basically, they're going to buy what you bring to solve their problem, not all the reasons you have behind why you started.
Again, let me also point this out. That's also why I really delve a little bit into personal branding. I delve a little bit into personal branding as actually the future of business. So for you to even say you want to build a business, it's really not about the business right now. So people are not going to just buy, people no longer buy products. People don't buy businesses, people buy people. So it means that if people can't connect to your person, if people can't buy you as an individual, if people can't connect to your value, it doesn't matter what you're selling, they're not going to buy. There are thousands of people that are doing the same thing that you're doing. So I encourage people to really delve into this aspect of personal branding. People see that our organization has been able to grow. In 4 years we've been able to reach over 26 countries. We have a community of over 5,000 active entrepreneurs, and we constantly engage with people. How is it that we are able to put out our events in any country and people have to buy their ticket, pay a lot of money in dollars to attend? It's not really because there are no other conferences. I know that there are people that organize events, and even if it's free of charge, you are begging people, will give you food, will give you drink, and nobody is going to come, right? So it's really about the brand. It's really about the face. If you look at the future of business right now, you can see people like Richard Branson are beginning to put their face to the Virgin brand. You see Mark Zuckerberg is beginning to come out, Elon Musk is coming out, Bill Gates is coming out, because people are no longer just buying because of what they are doing. People are buying because of them as individuals, because they are beginning to put their face to their products. So it's no longer time where you hide behind your product and say, no, I have a fantastic product. No, just put it out, people are going to buy. No, people need to know the face behind the business. And so because people need to know the face, that's where you have to start building what they call KLT principle, the know, like, and trust principle. So people need to know you, people need to like you, people need to trust you. If you are not visible to people, they're not going to know you. If you don't consistently show yourself to people, they're not going to know the values that make you you, because it is your values that will get them attracted and make them to like you.
So do you want to say that I could be having a very great product, very great, but because people cannot connect the values behind the owner of the product, the creator of the product, they may not be able to buy.
Exactly, because if an individual has a very bad reputation, business is reputation. If an individual has a very bad reputation, people are not even going to come close to you, talk less of buying your business. Because reputation is everything. I tell people that you really cannot tell about Rwanda if you have not been here. You know, I've been privileged to hear. This is my 4th time in Rwanda. It's not going to be my last time. I'm still going to be, I'll still keep coming back here. But one of the things I learned here in 2000, the first time I came here in 2019, were the 3 things that, you know, that the president really used to change the face of this country. And to be honest, my visit to Rwanda in 2019 changed my entire perspective about humanity. It changed the way I do my work. It changed the way I relate to other people, even back home in Nigeria. It changed a lot of things about my life, and I make bold to say it. I'll say it anywhere. You know, when I heard about the 3 factors that he used to change Rwanda, and one of them he talked about unity. Talked about how do you bring people together, and he talked about staying together. You know, how do you unite people together? And in my book, I wrote about a particular chapter where I said your passion is people, because you really cannot do anything if your passion is not addressing people. If it is not about people, forget it. There is nothing you are doing. So President Paul Kagame really deployed that strategy, that tool of unity, you know, to bring the people together from their pains, from their hurts, from, you know, from the anger and all those stuff. He was able to bring them together to say, we have our differences, we think differently and all that, but we must stay united to achieve one goal. That was one of the things I learned from him. Secondly was actually about the aspect of being accountable to each other. Accountability became another aspect that I really learned that he actually used that also helped me. So you have to stay accountable, because staying accountable means you are setting a goal. So there is a goal that you have set. So how do you stick? How do you ensure that within the period you set the goal and when you want to achieve it, how do you ensure that there are no distractions? How do you ensure that things don't just come in from anywhere to ensure you don't achieve them? How do you ensure that the people you are working with are in target? How do you ensure that you don't hurt other people while trying to achieve your own personal goal? It was an amazing lesson that I learned. And the last thing was also about the tool of thinking big. How do you think big in the midst of your challenges while there are no resources? How do you still achieve more in the midst of little resources? How do you achieve more even when people don't, nobody is helping you? Even when you are asking for help, nobody is reaching out. How do you really think big and look within and do something great with what you have? These 3 things are things that I hold on so dearly from President Paul Kagame. I love him. I love the people of Rwanda. And it's not also about him. It's also about how he has been able to translate these ideologies to the people of Rwanda. Because I've really gone around, I've met with people, I've gone to the streets, I've gone to the market, I've been to corporate offices, I've engaged with people here in Rwanda. And I can actually see people that are actually reasoning alike. People that have the same value system, people that understand their history, they know where they are coming from, they know where they are, and they seem to also know where they are going, and they are not willing to allow anybody to take them back to where they are coming from. So there are the 3 things that I've learned from him. And incidentally, when I wrote this book in 5 months. Everybody was like, how are you able to start this book and you're able to finish it in 5 months? It's really because you want to think about people. How do you help people? Because if your passion is really helping people, then there will be no distraction. Your focus is amplified. You can really do a whole lot. You have clarity, you have speed, and it doesn't matter how long other people are doing it. Once you have speed and you have clarity, you can achieve anything within the shortest period of time. So
wow.
Rwanda is an amazing place.
That's interesting. Unity,
accountability, and thinking
big. Those are the key things that we are taking. Thank you for keeping with us. We are on Coffee with Mutesi, and maybe next time, Raymond, you come and do egusi with Mutesi.
Egusi
Egusi and
it would be nice to be here. Meanwhile, I don't know the local dishes. I don't know the local dishes here. I'm not eating any local dish here.
You should come to my house.
I'm gonna come to eat it. All right.
Thank you so much. See you next time. Bye bye.